Ladies, gentlemen, YouTubians alike, in this pouch is a knife that I have been asking for and hoping for years. Ever since the original version of this knife dropped, I said I love it, it's one of my favorites, but I want it a little bigger. And my wishes have finally come true because today, this probably gives it away. We are taking a look at the latest, and I firmly believe this is the greatest knife to ever come out of Giant Mouse. What we have here is the Giant Mouse Biblio XL. Now, before I go any further into this review, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now, let's take a look at some overall specs on one of my all-time favorite EDCs right here. I can say it. I can officially say it right now. We have an overall length of 7.5 inches with a blade length coming in at 3.25 inches and a blade thickness at 140 thousandths. We have a blade material on this version of Vanitas 4 Extra, and there's also another version with LMAX, and we'll talk a little more about that version later here. We have a drop point slash kind of sheep's foot style blade with a flat grind, a handle length coming in at 4.25 inches, and a handle thickness at 530 thousandths. Handle material on this guy is some mighty fine titanium. We have a locking mechanism of a liner lock with a user of a right or left hand tip up carry. A weight coming in at 5 ounces, designed by the amazing minds of Jesper Voxness and Jens Anso, coming out of Italy. This is made over there in Italy, and boy, oh boy, does it have some of that fine Italian manufacturing touches to it. The price on this guy is $285. Now, as for that other version with LMAX, the version with LMAX has a micarta handle, and that's coming in at $225. So significantly less, and I haven't handled that one yet, but if it is anything like this one, you want one of them. I don't know which one you prefer, but believe me, you want one of them even if you don't know it yet. Let's take a look at some size comparisons here. Spoiler alert, I'm going to just be gushing about this knife most of the video because I've wanted it for so long, and it was just knocked out of the park. Everything about it. There's aspects of this Biblio that are better than even this Biblio or the original Biblio. But here is the original Biblio for a size to size, side to side comparison of the size differences. Bigger handle, bigger blade, bigger everything. It's amazing. Let's pull out a couple other knives. A couple other knives that I really compare this Biblio to here, this Biblio XL. The Spyderco Shaman. Very much a contender to the Spyderco Shaman, even though it is obviously a shorter knife. A lot of similarities there. And then we also have the amazing Ace Grand, which is another one of my favorite Giant Mouses. Probably my second favorite Giant Mouse, to be honest. It's right up there with one more. There's two of my top three. But yeah, very much alike these two in terms of just ergos and just all the good things that I love about a good EDC knife. And let's get to talking about it because, man, oh man, it was literally the first thing that came to my mind when I first handled the Biblio. God knows how many years ago, 3-4 years ago, maybe, no, gosh, I think 5 or 6 years ago. I can't even remember now, but I wanted a bigger version. I've always liked bigger knives. I like 3-inch blades. I don't have any real problems with knives under 3 inches, and I know some people have to carry them. But I still love my preference. My perfect blade length is somewhere in that 3.25 to 3.75 inch blade, depending on, the model and just exactly what it is. But this right here is as good as this model can get. The blade is everything you know and love about the Biblio. It's got that unique drop point sheep's footy blade that you're just used to. Has a really nice tip, that just about full flat grind, nice slicey blade, behind the edge reading of 20 thousandths, and Vanitas 4 Extra. So this is a new steel to me. Now, I will link the resource I use to get my information on this below. And of course, the knife itself will also be linked. But it looks like the person or the website that I used to get the information from was basically referencing Knife Steel Nerds. So if you haven't heard of them, you should, because Laren Thomas is a steel genius. And it sounds like most of that information is coming from him. So if you're not familiar with Vanadis 4 Extra, what it is, or at least here's some characteristics to it. Obviously, it is a tool steel, so it's semi-stainless. It's not fully stainless like MagnaCut and S30V and all those other steels. But it does have better edge retention than CPM3V and higher toughness than M4. So I think a lot of people would consider this somewhat of a super steel. It is definitely a higher end, if not a premium steel. And I've got no problem with it on this. You know, I really haven't had a lot of issues with semi-stainless or non-stainless blades. Now, what I'm not sure of is just how semi-stainless this is. Like, if it's a rust magnet or if it's semi-stainless like D2. Like, D2 can rust a little, but it's not like some other steels that have a lot higher likelihood to corrode and rust up on you. So I don't know. I'll find this out as I use it, but I have a couple different applications to spray on the blade, so I'm really not worried about it. And if it performs like CPM3V and M4 in the respective categories, then yeah, I'm gonna be just fine and happy with it. And everything about this blade is just it's just like the Biblio, only better. You have a little more room for that finger choil. You have the little more room to place your thumb up here. You can hit that jimping. I would have maybe liked to see the jimping come back a little farther, because when my natural grip, if I'm choked up, is right here. And I'm just getting like the last quarter of the jimping. If that jimping would have came down a little more, that's really the only thing I would maybe add to this blade. But man, oh man, I'm not worried about this thing slipping out of my hand for a second. The jimping is still effective. I do still get it, just a little reach up there. Ergos are phenomenal. The blade is fantastic. Phenomenal plunge grind on that. The sharpening choil, yeah. Everything was done right on this. And I gotta say, just in terms of just construction and fit and finish and feel overall, I've said it before, but this is just even a better example, if not the best example of it that I have handled so far. Italian manufacturing has caught up to China. Now, there may be some elements of manufacturing that they don't quite, they're not exactly the same, but I'm just saying in terms of fit and finish and feel and action, if you'd have told me Riot made this, I would have believed you, because it is very smooth. The detent is perfect. It is phenomenal. Before I talk any more about that action, let's talk about this handle, this milled titanium. I love it so much. This is a slightly different milling than what the Spartan Nemec I was reviewing just a day or two ago. Not quite as deep, but it still gives a really great texture, and it looks really good, very clean. It ends along all the sides of the scales, and it also ends right up here, which is fine, because I tell you what, this feels really, really good in hand just like this. You really don't need to choke up with this knife to get a full 4-finger grip with that XL size, and you get that extra real estate. I love it so much. Just the perfect size for this Biblio design. And as expected, you have that typical backspacer right here with incorporated lanyard hole. You have more jimping back here, and I'm assuming this is brass or it's probably got to be brass. It can't be that bronzo material. It's too light. So brass backspacer. And I gotta say, it doesn't, it's 5 ounces. It doesn't really feel that heavy. It's a very well-balanced knife. Sits great, feels great in the hand. You got that typical great wire clip that Giant Mouse is so good with. They use that thicker gauge, so it's nice and stiff, doesn't wobble on you, in and out of the pocket just fine. And of course, you can do the righty or lefty thing, so that lefties love that, and as you should. This knife should be available for everyone because it is that good. This is just fantastic. Very nice liner lock access. And lockup is extremely solid, just what I would expect. And then, one of the things that I noticed about this one right off the bat was just the smoothness of this. So my other Biblio that I still love, this is the premium edition that I got a while back. It's just a little stiffer. I have to really shake this to close the blade. And from my experiences, all the other Biblios were a slightly stiffer. Action was great. The flipping action's fantastic, but they were just a little stiffer on the close. You had to give that little bit extra of a shake. Not the XL. This guy right here, once you pass that detent, easy shake shot, and the middle finger flick on this is phenomenal. So good. Love the middle finger flick on this. And the regular flipper, this, again, really nice jimping up there. Got just the jimping you need for a flipper tab like this. Not too coarse. Very nice, very present, very easy to use. This is a home run, guys. This could very well be my favorite knife of the year. And like I said at the beginning of this video, this is truly, seriously, I mean it with all my heart, one of the best knives in my collection, one of my favorite knives. I've wanted this for so long. I was starting to think it wouldn't happen because I felt like the Biblio had been out for so long. I was like, man, if they haven't done it now, they're not going to do it. Well, they did it, and I'm so glad they did, and you should be glad they did too, because if you like the regular Biblio, mark my words, I never lie to you guys, this is better as long as you like the bigger size knife. I couldn't be happier with it, man. Oh, cannot wait to carry this guy in the pocket so much. This is one phenomenal start to the year for Giant Mouse. I can tell you that right now. Really looking forward to seeing what else they have in the pipeline for this year. But I honestly think they could have a successful year off this knife alone. Couple new versions, like give us all the flavors of this knife. It's one of the perfect knives. Like, I stinking love it. It's just so good. The blade shape, the ergos, the fit and finish, everything about it is fantastic. Give us a Magna Cut version with carbon fiber. Ooh, yeah, please give us a Magna Cut version with carbon fiber. That would be fantastic. But the Giant Mouse Biblio XL, guys, is an easy knife of the year contender, and it is right up there as one of my favorite EDC knives of all time. And yes, you will see it on my next best all-time EDC video. The Giant Mouse Biblio XL. Let me know what you guys think of this. It is available right now. I'll have it linked below. It's not available everywhere, but it's available where I have it linked. So let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know if you've already bought it. I'm sure a lot of you probably already have, because this is a very highly anticipated knife. And it lives up to the hype, let me tell you. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.